Sacha, and you're listening to Enlivened. Whose job is it to unfuck the world? In case you didn't know, with the changes that have happened in this year in 2020, not only do the rates of coronavirus, go up and down every day, and there's a lot of speculation. Is this real? Is this really not real? Blah, blah, blah. But the thing that has been a worry, a lot of people have been actually talking about this, is the fact that a lot more people are taking away their own lives. They are committing suicide. And this, for me, it's the thing that hurts me the most, because I don't believe that there's anything more heartbreaking than somebody who desperately does not want to be here. I think that this is heartbreaking for conventional reasons, but I also think this is heartbreaking for me personally for unconventional reasons. Because I believe that when we decide to take ourselves out of the game because we're so in pain, because it's like not even worth it to try to get out of bed. And if you don't know this, this is something I've dealt with personally. I know very, very, very well how this feels. I've been pretty depressed for over a decade, and medicated and unmedicated both, and then self-medicated for most of it too. But it was something that I dealt with, and it was really painful, not only for me, but everybody around me, because whenever I would get triggered, I was not fun to be around for more than a few reasons. This podcast isn't about me, though. This podcast is about why people are doing that and what happens when they take themselves out of the game. So the people who are doing that have their own reasons, right? They have their own reasons for doing it. The world does not meet their expectation. The world does not fulfill their needs as a human being. They feel as though something's wrong with them, that they don't belong anywhere, and they just don't want to be part of it. That is, I would say, probably the main reason. I've also heard when I was a child, probably 8 or 9 years old, I remember this young, beautiful, beautiful boy in one of my hockey teams, and his dad committed suicide, and it was a money reason. It like he had lost some money or something, and he was too ashamed of dealing with it, so he committed suicide. And then I heard about my parents' friend who committed suicide, and he was such a nice guy, and my parents still feel sad about it, and they talk about it. And so what I'm trying to say here is that suicide is so real, and it hurts so many people. It hurts the people, obviously, who are committing it because they're leaving the planet, but it also leaves so many people in pain on earth, dealing with so much more trauma. So as someone who has been on the side of, dealing with it, like dealing with that insane feeling of doom, feeling like nothing is worth it. Like no matter what you do, you're failing at something. You're hurting somebody's feeling. You're not meeting somebody else's expectations. You're a piece of shit. Like you literally feel like nothing you do is good enough. You don't feel good enough in any way, shape, or form. And people are rejecting you left, right, and center. And it's so fucking painful. But on the other end, when you don't understand what it's like to feel that, and then somebody else leaves the planet, you think that it's your fault. You think that you didn't do something right. So long story short, I'm just trying to raise awareness on my personal opinion about this. And this is a cause that I feel so compelled to talk about, because I don't want anybody to feel this way. As much as I can help it, if I can help it, I don't want you to feel that way. If you know someone, or if you are someone who has felt that way, I want to help you. If I can make my life, my energy, the things I can control, if I can control that in such a way that I can help your life so that you don't feel like that, then I've done my job. Even if it's just planting a seed in your heart that says you're meant to do something fucking great, I've done my job. Like, my depression started to dissipate and dissolve when I decided to flip my story around, when I decided to say, you know what, fuck this. Like, I'm going to heal myself, and I don't want anybody else to go through what I had to go through. I don't want anyone else to feel the pain that I had to feel. In that, I have found my purpose. The ways that I go about it are not my purpose. I go about it in many different ways, right? I have this humanity mastermind, which is based on astrology and human design, and I basically use that to talk about different archetypes and talk about different ways of being, to raise awareness about the archetypes that are playing inside each and every one of us. It's about self-awareness. It's about self-discovery. It's about discovering the seeds inside of us that need to just be activated. So I wake people up to their potential. That's my attempt. That's my intention. Another way that I do that is I also talk about manifestation, because one of the reasons why I believe that people are depressed, why I was depressed, is because I personally felt like I did not fucking get it. Like, it's like I thought I was doing it right. I was getting the A's. I was playing in the hockey team. I was being skinny. I was being pretty. I was straightening my hair, putting blonde highlights. Like, I mean, name it, I was doing it. You know, I was flirting. I was being the cool girl, the half tomboy, but not too tomboy. You know what I mean? Like, just like every kind of fucking stereotype you see on TV. And I really thought I was doing a good job. And I was getting attention, but nothing was sticking. Like, I wasn't actually feeling fulfillment. I wasn't feeling that happiness. And I was really sad. And that stuff doesn't even work. It's like the things that I learned on TV or in school, they didn't work. And I felt after how many years? Like 12, like 12th grade. Then I went to university. Then I went to university again. And it's like, after all that schooling, I still didn't feel good. I was really smart. I had a lot of knowledge in my brain, but none of that knowledge was useful for life. None of that knowledge gave me a job that I actually felt fucking good in. And that's the thing. We go to school and we're not really shaped to be successful. We're shaped to become employees. We're shaped to become little tiny cute robots who help other people that are more special live their dream. We're meant to go to school to become employees. And it's really rare that, and I know I'm doing a really broad stroke here, but I just want to say that school shaped me to become an employee, and I can only speak from my perspective, and the perspective of my friends, the perspectives of the people I went to school with. And it's like the goal was to work for TD Bank or become an accountant, because all that people wanted was this security, and the security had to come with money. And they knew, like, oh my God, if I'm a lawyer, if I'm a banker, if I do something like that, then I'm going to be fine, you know? So I went to school, and in university, I studied business, and that was it, you know? Security. People wanted to be safe. People wanted to learn business, to have money, to feel safe, to be flashy, I guess, for some of them, and, you know, to live the high life or whatever. But it it was never to change the world. It was never to improve the world. It was never, like, I didn't have those conversations. However, I remember having this class, or this section, and I studied HR quite a bit in this degree, and they were talking about compensation and intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation? Like, is money all there is? Or are people actually looking for more? And I remember at that moment feeling this like little seed in my brain getting like a tingle, like, huh, like I'm not that motivated by money. Like I really am not that motivated by money. But what actually motivates me, there's so many other things. And as I get older and older, and after it's been a decade since I've been done with that class, but at this point right now, I feel that it's about giving back. And that sounds so cheesy, but for me, it really, truly, that feeling of contribution is that fulfillment. And to me, that sense of purpose, that is the antidote to depression. That is the antidote to the rates of suicides going up. That is the solution to how we unfuck the world. We have to activate our sense of purpose. We have to connect with our deepest pain so that we can connect to our deepest sense of conviction so that we can actually contribute to the people that are coming after us, right? The generations that are following us. And we have to look at them and say, I know where there are going to be potholes. And I'm going to tell you, hey, don't run there. Like, there's a pothole. You're going to hit it. Like, you're going to hit it so hard. Just make sure like you run a little bit that way, and then you help people out, and that way you don't know all the freaking tricks. You don't know where all the potholes are, but you know where specific potholes are, and you can avoid that for the generation that's to come. You can help another person, even if they're generations in the future. Whatever lessons you have learned in your past, you can be 18 years old listening to this right now. And if you have lived through something and you don't want another human being to go through it, you can help them. And in that, when you do that, you're pivoting into purpose. You're pivoting into purpose, and you're using your life lessons, your healing lessons, and you're using it to make another human being's life a little bit less painful. So that way, the motivation is actually intrinsic. It comes from inside of you. You are motivated to help another being, another human life. You're helping another human to live a better life. The first moment that you see another human's life change because of the story that you shared, right? Have you ever seen a movie that changed your life? You're just like, oh my God, like, wow. You heard this person's story, like The Green Mile, for example. It's just such a powerful story. Or Hurricane. Like, there's so many powerful, powerful, powerful movies out there. We humans are moved by stories. When you share your story, you have the power to activate something inside somebody else. You have the power to wake them the fuck up and snap them back into their whole, authentic, purposeful worth. Like, the way I'm speaking to you right now, you've probably heard my story, maybe you haven't, but just so you know, I've been through a shit ton of sadness, depression, lack of fulfillment, lack of purpose, did not want to be on earth whatsoever. And then I just decided to, like, fuck this, I'm going to actually pivot this. I never wanted to do it just for myself. That was not big enough. I wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. I didn't care enough about myself. My self-worth, my self-esteem, all of that was in the garbage. It was so low. But the moment that I saw the reality that so many young teenagers are suffering with depression because they have no sense of purpose, there's something inside of me that, like, this lioness, this like insane panther came from my heart and was like, fuck no. Like, I am not leaving this game of life. I'm not leaving. I'm not checking out until I help them. I want to help them. I want to help the teenagers that are depressed. I want to help the 20-year-olds that are depressed. I want to help the 50-year-olds who think that it's too late to change their life around. I want to help people. And at that moment, it's like I got angry and I wanted to help. And it's all of a sudden, all of the obstacles that I saw in my way, they just kind of disappeared. It's like nothing else mattered. I just wanted to help. It's like if I'm gonna fucking kill myself, I may as well help someone before I do it. And then that loses it. Like all of a sudden you see that you can help somebody. You see that you can actually make a change in their consciousness. You help them see from a different perspective, and it's like, whoa, I want to be here. And that, my friend, that's called purpose. That's called purpose. That's purpose. Purpose is seeing yourself as a change maker. You are a change maker in somebody else's life. That is purpose. That is the antidote to depression. That is the antidote to suicide. In my opinion, and I know this is a super, super sensitive subject, and I'm not speaking for everybody. I can only speak from my humble little small reality. But I'm someone who has dealt with serious like mental problems. Trust me, we don't have to go into my story, but I know. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. And I know how painful it is to everybody else around. I hurt so many people in my life when I was depressed. And the guilt that came from that. Like I knew I was hurting them, but I just didn't know how else to be. I had nothing else to give, and I knew I was not being a good friend, a good girlfriend, a good wife, a good daughter. I was just not, I had nothing to give. And now I feel like I have so much to give back to the world because I'm helping the world. And I'm not saying that you have to do this for free. You get to be disgustingly filthy rich as much as you want in order to do this. Look at Oprah, look at Eckhart Tolle, look at, there's Tony Robbins. They have found a way to take their story to help other people shift their story, to make a difference in the world, to make a difference in human beings' lives. They have gotten through so many obstacles to help as many people as possible in as many ways as they possibly can. And they are being rewarded for it. That's how the universe works. The universe wants you to be well resourced. Like you are literally made to be on purpose. The reason why the resources aren't coming to you right now is because you're not on purpose. You're not actually doing what you're built to do. And I know that's getting quite esoteric, and I understand that, but I just wanted to like plant a little seed here and there. If you are not doing the work that you're meant to do on earth, if you're not doing your healing, it starts with healing. You have to heal your own shit. If you're not starting with healing, you're working backwards, you're going to waste your fucking time. You have to heal your wounds. You have to look at your shadows because that's how you're going to help people. So the first step that you have to do is you have to heal. Second step that you're going to have to do is that you're going to help. You're going to look for people to help. Third step that you're going to do is find more ways to help and help people more specifically and more accurately and faster. And then watch how that goes. It's like domino after domino after domino. And the world literally supports you. Resources will come out of the woodworks. People will find you. Opportunities will find you. Podcasts will, like, people will want to interview you because you're just going to have this story of how you went through this. You pivoted into your own healing. You found the way to heal yourself. You found the right coaches, the right therapists, the right healers. You healed yourself, right? You healed your inner child. You explored your shadow. You shone a flashlight on it, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm accepting you. I love you. You taking the parts of yourself that you have previously divorced, putting them back into yourself, and you feel worthy. You feel whole. Because previously you had felt like parts of you were not lovable. And all of a sudden you're hugging them back. You're like, yeah, that's cool. I knew I was doing that because I needed to protect myself. Now I understand I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to be a dick to people. I don't need to be mean to pretty girls. I don't need to make fun of people who are rich. Like, I don't need to shame the wealthy. I understand, like wealth is a good thing. All of those shadows, whenever you feel like you're at a place where you're integrating them, you're integrating them, you're integrating them, you're integrating them, after that healing period, and by the way, that's never ever done, but there's going to come a time that you're going to feel like, fuck, like my nervous system is good. Like, I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed if just a small little thing happens in my life. I can handle more. I can handle more hardship. I can handle more pain. I can handle more depth in my emotions. At that point, you're going to feel like you are resourced. You're going to feel like from within you, from inside of you, you have more to give. You're going to feel whole. It's a feeling of like your heart feels full. You have a lot of love to give. And from that space, you can help the world. This episode is just part one. I have a part two coming up. And I have a feeling it's going to be the more intense one. So stay tuned for the next one. And we have a few more coming up soon, and with people that are going to come rattle our cages, and it's going to be really fun because I believe that business and starting your own business has so much more to do with creating a ripple in the world, creating a ripple and a wave of change, of positive change, the change that we want to see. And I don't believe that having a business has to do with just your personal profit or my personal profit or anyone's personal profit. I believe that it has to do with changing history, making fucking changes in history. Yeah. Yeah. That's rebellious as fuck, and I love it. All right, my friend, I love you so much. Please note that this is going to be on the shorter side, but the next episode is going to be wild. And if you're someone who's been feeling this activation inside of you and you want to maybe start your own business, be on purpose, create massive change in the world, maybe just start this like mission or whatever, stay tuned for next episode. Trust me, it's the most activating thing you'll hear. I might be biased, but I'm just telling you, you have something to do.